I'm back in my arbour because it's warm enough and hopefully quiet enough that you can be able to hear me. I'm coming to you with an Orilium TBR. I haven't been doing great reading this year, but I did just have an optician's appointment, which when we got to the end of the session and my new prescription had been all sorted, she just said, like, I was doing the reading bit and she just said, pop your old glasses back on, and I popped them on and suddenly I couldn't read anymore. Like, I could have told you there was text there, but not necessarily what alphabet it was, even like from a normal reading position. So I think that might be why I haven't been reading so well. So I pick up my new glasses at the beginning of April, so I'm hoping that April will be a good reading month for me. And always in the past I've gone into April going, I'll keep my options open, I'll read as many books as possible, like hopefully fill the whole of the available prompts for April. And I've just realized that it's possible you don't know what Orilium is, and I always do this, I'm like, let me launch straight into this thing and not tell you anything. So Orilium is a magical readathon. It is run by G at the Book Race. It's a magical university and you study for courses. There are 2 semesters, spring and autumn, and you do them that way round. I know that's not how universities normally work, but this one is magical, so it can do what it likes. So we read the first one in the spring, and then you can move on to the next one. Theoretically, you read for careers, but I like to keep my options open. I go in according to what looks interesting at the moment, and I normally have like 2 or 3, maybe 4 different things where I could have the potential to go this route or this route or this route, which isn't quite, again, it's not quite how you're supposed to do it, but you're meant to have fun, so that's how I do it. And this year is, some people, is the 5th year, I think, possibly the 6th year, but some people might well have finished 4 years of their chosen occupations studies and therefore might be going on to postgraduate studies. That's not me. I've done 3 of a couple of different occupations. I actually haven't made a note or gone back to check which those were, so I'm just for the April reading, I'm just going to try and read as many books as possible, and then in September I'm hoping that that will lead to me being able to finish 4th year in one of my chosen careers, but I don't actually know because I haven't looked it up. And that's deliberate because I've been having such a slow for me reading year. I just wanted to be able to have as little pressure as possible on my April, but also hoping to have fun. Oh, that's the other thing, is that all my TBRs are a bit tenuous, more so when I've maybe tried to give myself a bit extra grace, but also April is entirely, it's got Pesach. I have a surprise book once a month, which I'll probably try and fit in there, and I don't know what that's going to be or whether it's going to fit at all. I might well get presents for books, and I've got some books which are library books which may or may not come in time, or that I've borrowed them early and I might not be able to renew in time to actually read them during April. I don't know. So this is very subject to change, just because what books I have available might change. But I'm going to go in and tell you what I'm thinking about. So the first lesson, each lesson has like a subject, a specific lesson, and then a prompt. So the first book actually is Alchemy. For Alchemical Reiteration is the class name, and the prompt is reread, and I'm just keeping this as a mood read. I'm not even going to think about what I might read there. I'll see when I feel like it, I'll just pick something up. So the next is Animal Studies and Shadow Wolf. For this you need a wolf on the cover or in the title or in the actual text of the book, like actual story. And I've chosen The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, and this is a historical fantasy featuring a treasure hunt through Paris, apparently. So I'm looking forward to that. The next is Art of Illusion, Alternate Illusions Unusual Format, and for this I have The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels by Janice Hallett. I read one of hers before. She wrote The Appeal, which was all through letters and court notes, and this is no different. I mean, I gathered the story is completely different, but it's told through letters and court notes and files, so that's definitely a different format. Astronomy, Galactic Outskirts Top Shelf. And my shelves for my TBR are quite low shelves, so I went into the bedroom and found the highest shelf in the highest part of the house, and I picked up Transformers by Annalee Newitt. It's my husband's. I read one of her books recently. It was cyberpunk sci-fi, and this looks like it's got environmental rescue. It's in space. It's about terraforming, apparently, funnily enough. So I don't think he's ever mentioned this, but if he has, it's probably a long time ago, so I'll see how it goes. Conjuration, inspiration boosts, first enticing book on social media. And I went through, and it took me ages to find a book on social media at all, but then when I did, it was Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Barenya, which I think is, I'm just about absolutely ready for this. And this is about a group of, I think, violent prisoners working on a chain gang, and I think it's dystopian sci-fi. I'm not really sure. I gather it's very feminist, very Afrofuturist, and I'm looking forward to it. And if that doesn't come in time, I've also potentially got the second book, which is Out of the Drowning Deep by A.C. Wise, which is a murder mystery trans-based fantasy novella, which just sounds perfect, actually. The next was Demonology, House on the Cover, and I got Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, which is a Witches in the Woods, haunted house, cozy mystery, I think. I don't really know much about it, but it does have a picture of a house on the cover. And for the next one, Elemental Studies, Temperature Controls, a Temperature Word, Dead Cold Brew by Cleo Coyle, and this is a cozy murder mystery. Spells and Incantation, in fashion sales, on bestseller list, Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which I did not think to pick up, I don't know why, but I've had it on my shelf since it came out, and apparently it's still on the bestseller list for the New York Times, so that sounds like a great time to pick it up. Artificery, Arcane Device Pairing, roll a d6, the number is the place in the series you take it, and I rolled a 3, and I actually picked up Courageous to start reading, read like one page, and I've forgotten, so I'm gonna have to go back anyway. So I've gone back, and I'm gonna start again from like that first page in April. This is if I remember correctly, it's a hero from the past gets resurrected to be in charge of a fleet in the middle of a war, and he's kind of going, what are you talking about? This is all crazy. You're just like, you're not thinking smart, you're not trying to save lives, you're just being too gung-ho. There's a lot of women, there's a lot of queer people, there's a lot of community, and there's this one guy just trying to save as much as he can from the wreckage of the community, and while everyone around him thinks he's a kind of like macho hero. Inscription, Dating Intimacy, Day of the Week in title, and I've got Searching for Sunday by Rachel Held Evans. This is a Christianity based book about the 7 sacraments, so I often end up reading something a little bit theologian, a little bit like you wouldn't really be interested if you're not my particular branch of Christianity, and that's okay because I am. For law, ancient speculative law, dystopia or utopia, and I've got Gear Breakers by Zoe Hana Mikutu. People decided that there weren't enough gods, so they make their own, and they built giant mechanical gods, but then the giant mechanical gods kind of turned into war and oppression, and so now our intrepid heroes are trying to fix that. Psionics and Divination, Reading Past and Future, the word time in the title. And before I went to look at my shelf, I looked at my electronics, so I've actually have an Ian Rankin with the word time on my shelf, so I might switch that out, but depending on whether I'm feeling like reading physical or ebooks. But I got That Time I Took Down a Cult by Rebel Carter, and I'm pretty certain it just does exactly what it says on it. Restoration, and this is where you come in and I need your help. Restorative Adoration, ask for 5 5-star recommendations, pick one. Please, would you mind giving me your five-star recommendations for me to pick one, and I'll do my best. Volume modification, flip a coin. I got heads, which means I read a book under 400 pages. After that, I've got You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White, and this is trans body horror, I believe. So let me know what you think about those books. Wish me luck for such an ambitious undertaking, and please let me know your 5-star recs down below, and I will add them to my TBR. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.